A fresh chapter has opened in the legal battle involving Simon Ekpa, the self-acclaimed Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government in exile, after he declared that he remains confident his conviction by Finnish court will be overturned. Ekpa, who was currently serving a 6-year prison sentence in Finland following a terrorism-related conviction, said he believes the truth will eventually emerge and show that the wrong person was punished. His statement came during his appeal hearing proceedings on Thursday, where he spoke with some supporters of the Biafra movement. "I'm very confident that the truth is going to come out. They will know that the wrong person has been imprisoned," Ekpa said. The comments have ignited debates over one of the most controversial legal cases involving a Nigerian separatist figure abroad.
Oh my God! Yes.
The truth will come out.
Amen. 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 Yes, we bring greeting from UK. We bring greeting from UK. What is that? Bring greeting from UK. Greeting.
We protect all of its citizens, and has instead chosen to protect a criminal, terrorist element led by the Sultan of Sokoto, who is the real ruler of Nigeria. So I think that Finland be executing somebody's rights and trying to undermine the rule of law. And international law says that you have a right to self-determination and freedom of speech. So Mr. Ekpa has been exercising freedom of speech and has been standing against the oppression by the Nigerian government. And I call on the Finnish government to not send him back to Nigeria, where he will not face any sort of due process of law. And it's not a crime to stand for one's people again when they're being tortured and held to a illegal and unjust standard.
Thank you. Wow.
Thank you.
And one more thing, Nigeria is the only country in the world that has allowed its territory to be invaded, and as a result of that invasion, innocent people are being killed every day. Frankly, this PM wouldn't be in detention today if Nigeria had done that simple primary responsibility a nation holds to its citizens. Protect your country from external aggression. If Nigeria has done that, I don't think PM will be in detention today.
And the Nigerian government is required under the Nigerian Constitution to provide equal protection under law. The fact that the Nigerian military, the Nigerian government, does not stand behind its citizens in Biafra is a travesty, and Mr. Simon Ekpa has been in the forefront of standing against this sort of tyranny. And free speech is something that we cherish in the West, and we should not be handing Mr. Ekpa over to a government in Nigeria that does not obey the rule of law, does not understand that it has to equally protect all of its citizens, and has instead chosen to protect a criminal terrorist element led by the Sultan of Sokoto, who is the real ruler of Nigeria. So I think that Finland be executing somebody's rights and trying to undermine the rule of law, and international law says that you have a right to self-determination and freedom of speech.
The key question now is whether Ekpa's appeal will successfully challenge the original judgment, or whether the Finnish court will uphold the conviction. Ekpa was sentenced on September 1st, 2025, by a Finnish district court after being convicted of terrorism-related offenses. The case attracted international attention because the allegations were linked to violence and insecurity in Nigeria's southeast region. Finnish prosecutors accused Ekpa of using online platforms to promote activities that contributed to unrest and attacks in parts of the southeast Nigeria. The prosecution argued that his influence and the public statements played a role in encouraging actions carried out by individuals involved in violent activities. However, Ekpa has repeatedly denied the allegations against him. He has maintained that he is being wrongly accused and that his political advocacy for Biafra's self-determination should not be interpreted as support for violence. His latest comments suggest that his legal team remains determined to challenge the conviction through the appeal process. The case has divided public opinion, both in Nigeria and among members of the Biafra movement. Supporters of Ekpa argue that he is being targeted because of his political position and his demand for an independent Biafra state. They claim that advocating for self-determination should not result in criminal prosecution. However, critics and Nigerian authorities have accused separatist groups linked to the Biafra movement of contributing to instability in the southeast. The region has experienced years of insecurity involving attacks on security agencies, government facilities, businesses, and civilians. Authorities have repeatedly linked some of these incidents to armed groups operating under the banner of Biafra separatism. The Nigerian government has consistently called for stronger international cooperation to address activities it considers threats to national security. The legal proceedings in Finland have become a major point of discussion because the allegations relate to events in Nigeria while the trial took place under Finnish law. Finnish authorities have defended the process, stating that the case was handled according to the legal procedures and based on evidence presented before the court. The conviction marked one of the most significant legal actions against the Nigerian separatist figure outside the country. Before his arrest, Ekpa had built a strong online following among supporters of Biafra independence. Through social media platforms, he frequently discussed issues relating to Biafra's self-determination and criticized the Nigerian government. His activities attracted both support and controversy, with some praising his activism, while others accused him of encouraging instability. The Nigerian government has previously accused him of influencing events that contributed to insecurity in the southeast. However, Ekpa has rejected those accusations and insists that he is being held responsible for actions committed by others. His appeal will now determine whether the Finnish judicial system agrees with his arguments or confirms the original ruling. If the conviction is overturned, it could become a major victory for Ekpa and his supporters. However, if the appeal fails, the 6-year sentence will remain in place and could further intensify debates over separatist movement and international efforts to address security concerns. beyond Ekpa's personal legal battle, the case has raised wider questions about the relationship between political activism, online influence, and national security. In today's digital environment, activists and political figures can reach millions of people across borders, creating new challenges for governments attempting to respond to security threats. Supporters of free expression argue that the government must distinguish between political opinions and criminal actions. Security officials, however, argue that public figures with large followings must be held accountable if the words are believed to encourage violence. The situation in Nigeria's southeast remains complex. While many residents continue to demand better governance, economic opportunities, and improved security, violent incidents have created significant challenges for communities and authorities. The debate over Biafra remains one of Nigeria's most sensitive political issues, decades after the Nigerian Civil War ended in 1970. Different groups have continued to call for greater autonomy or independence, while successive Nigerian governments have maintained that the country's unity must be protected. For Simon Ekpa, the focus is now on the appeal process. His message to supporters is that he believes that the legal battle will eventually reveal what he describes as the truth. But the final decision will rest with the Finnish court as they review the arguments presented by both sides. The outcome of the appeal could have major consequences for Ekpa, his supporters, and the broader discussion surrounding separatist movements, political activism, and security in Nigeria. As the case continues, attention will remain on Finland's judicial system and whether Ekpa's claim that the wrong person has been imprisoned will influence the final outcome. I'm Chimezrim Okoro, and do have a blessed weekend.